Okay, so this was another turn-in assignment that involved a number of topics that we've talked about this year. The first thing we talked about in the year was scientific notation. So I'm trying to change 4,573,000,000 to scientific notation. And the rule simply is I got to put a number between 1 and 10. Okay, so that number has to be between 1 and 10 times 10 to some exponent. So when I'm trying to write this number as a number between 1 and 10, I'd have to move the decimal point back 9 places to get the number 4.573 times 10 to the what power. And remember, it's the power up here that's called the magnitude. So now I'm interested in finding the magnitude that I'm going to put on the 10. And all you do is count up the number of decimal places that you moved the decimal point to get it to be 4.573, which is the ninth power. Same thing here. We're going to move the decimal point over in this direction this time to get a number between 1 and 10, and that's 8.75 times 10. When I make a smaller number into a bigger number, the exponent is going to be negative. So how many decimal points? How many decimal places? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the magnitude here would be to the negative 10th power. Number 2, what is the magnitude? Well, we defined this in class once again, and the magnitude is simply the exponent that we put on 10 if the number is written in scientific notation, which is what this number is. Moving on to question number 3. And question number 3 wants us to take what we have in scientific notation and write the numerical value for that. So I have 3.95 times 10 to the minus 5. Well, that simply means if the exponent is negative, I'm going to make this number smaller. Making it smaller, I move the decimal point in this direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I put zeros in. So it's going to be 0.000395. There's your decimal equivalent to that number. This one, 6.18 times 10 to the 4th. That's a positive number, so I'm going to take this decimal place and move it in the direction so that this number becomes bigger. Positive number means make this number bigger. 1, 2, 3, 4. You put your 2 zeros in, and you wind up getting 61,800. Moving on to question number 4. Question number 4. This is the topic that we're working on currently right now. And I don't understand why some of us are getting this wrong still, but we have to look at what we need. It says, what is the slope and y-intercept of the following linear equation? To be able to determine the slope and intercept, we need to write it in slope-intercept form. That means solve for y. If I solve this for y, I would add 8x to both sides, and that will give me y is equal to 8x plus 2. Well, I'm looking for my slope. My slope is my m value. M is the number in front of x, not the entire expression. The number in front of x is 8. There's my slope. My y-intercept, that's the b, and the b in this equation is simply 2. Number 5, complete the following table, then give the then graph the linear equation in 6. Well, number 5, I asked you guys and asked you to remember that if anything's happening to one of the variables besides multiplying by 1, you need to start to substitute in for that variable. So in this case, I'm going to substitute in for my y. I'm going to let y equal 0, 1, and then 2. And when I let y equal 0, I'm going to get x plus 0 is equal to 1. So that means x is equal to 1. So I get the point 1, 0. I'm going to let y equal 1. So I get x plus 2 times 1 is 2 equals 1. Solving for x, subtracting 2 from both sides, and you get x is equal to 1 minus 2 is a negative 1. So I'm going to wind up with negative 1 for x. Negative 1, 1. And then I'm going to let y equal 2. So I'm going to get x plus 2 times 2 is 4 is equal to 1. Subtract 4 from both sides, and you're going to wind up with x is equal to a negative 3. So I get the point negative 3, 2. Alright, so that was the answer to 5. I'm then supposed to take those points that I have in 5, and I need to graph them in 6. That's all I wanted you to do. Here are the points that I'm going to graph. 1, 0, that's this point. Negative 1, 1, it's going to be this point. And then negative 3, 1, 2, 3, positive 2, 1, 2. There's the third point. Alright, we're going to take our ruler out, which I don't have right now, so I'm going to do this freehand, draw a line through those 3 points, and then what we should do at the end is label my line. And that was the quiz, or the tournament.